So I watched the new Venom movie, and I'm pleased to say that I avoided every single spoiler, and I indeed enjoyed the film. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's 1000 times better than the previous movie, which to be honest, not saying much considering that I shat on that movie for 8 minutes straight, but still much more enjoyable than some superhero movies. But before we find out the pros and cons of this movie, I would like to kindly ask if you can hit the subscribe button. It's free, I promise I won't flood your sub box, and you can unsub anytime you want. Now, enjoy the video. Unlike with the first Venom review, let's look at the drawbacks of Let There Be Carnage first. And not gonna lie, a lot of them had to do with the villain, which is a shame considering how much I bashed on Riot and Riz Ahmed's character. I still can't remember his name. But I will say, much better than them though, and the villains didn't come across as two-dimensional. My issues with Carnage stems from how they are depicted compared with most media. Let's start off with his design. For some reason he's bigger than Venom, even though he's depicted to be smaller than him in the comics. My guess is that the people who worked on this movie were scared that he wouldn't seem threatening, but they're missing the point of the design. He's meant to juxtapose Venom, similar to Batman and the Joker if you think about it. In fact, they also made his voice a lot deeper, just like Venom's, which again I'm convinced is because they wouldn't think he would be threatening. And I get that people insert their own voices when they read comics, but I just prefer the high-pitched psycho voice. Like listen to the voice of Goku doing his voice for a pinball game.
Get real, Pops! I almost slapped you and the Spider guy before! Hey kiddies, it's Carnage time!
Insomniac, please hire this man as Carnage for a future Spider-Man project. Thank you. Last note on why I thought he was unfaithful to the character, and this is a spoiler so skip to this timestamp if you don't want to hear it. The fact that Carnage and Cletus are still separate entities when they combine together, even though in most media they have one mind. Let me show you another Goku sound clip.
I am the ultimate insanity! I am Carnage!
Notice how he says, I am Carnage, not we. Again, it's another contrast between Venom and Carnage, but I guess the movie needed to establish Carnage's own flaw into their story. And also, as Cletus Cassidy, we don't actually see him murder people as an adult. We're told about the bad stuff that he has done, but I felt like it would have been a lot better if the audience knew how vicious this character is without the symbiote. Just saying. Now, besides Carnage, I do have an issue with Venom. His voice. Don't get me wrong, Tom Hardy's voice is fine, but he's experiencing the same issues I had with him when he was Bane. I don't know what he's saying sometimes. Sometimes I would have to rewind scenes in my head just to piece out what he said. And sometimes I don't know what the hell he said at all. I think the reason why the issue is more prominent here than in the first movie is because Venom actually has screen time. So you win some and you lose some. Another negative point of the film, the plot with the ex-girlfriend doesn't really go anywhere. I didn't really talk about the relationship in the last review because it blended so well with how bland that movie was. It's handled slightly better here, but it ended kinda just goes nowhere. And while we're on the subject of spoilers, this isn't anything too negative, but did anyone feel like they tried to replicate the storyline from Spider-Man 2? You know, Eddie representing Peter's side of wanting a normal life, while Venom represents the responsibilities of being a hero with power, which basically causes Eddie to think that Venom is a burden, and so they separate, just for them to combine again with each other when the woman that Eddie loves the most gets kidnapped. There's a lot of parallels the more you think about it. Now, I got a couple of nitpicks, so don't take these too seriously. The soundtrack isn't as good as the other Spidey movies, but I do unironically like the credit song. And the jokes were decent, but sometimes they just didn't land. Like there was a quip when Anne's fiance does something with fire. I'm in the spoiler-free zone, so if you know, you know. But other than those things, yeah, I thought that the movie was very enjoyable to watch. Eddie's and Venom's relationship actually holds weight compared to the last movie. In fact, in my last review, I said I don't think their relationship is real, and I felt like this sequel somehow took my thoughts into account and used them to establish valid relationship issues. Also, characters had a decent amount of screen time. Instead of waiting an hour for Venom to appear, he came on screen before I could even look at my watch and wonder when he will arrive on the big screen. And I thought that the acting performances were handled well. I didn't realize this until I saw Cosmonaut's latest review on the first Venom movie, but he pointed out how overly nice each of the main characters are, which also makes them look stupid at the same time. In this movie, I feel like there's a good balance of them being kind-hearted, angry, and dumb. One last point, and it's a spoiler, so here's another timey code, and here's your opportunity to move on to the next section of the video. Alright, so this post-credit scene was totally worth the hype. If I had a tier list of best credit scenes, this is in the S category. I love how this is their way of confirming that Venom wasn't always in the MCU, but also we get a tease of Tom Holland's Peter Parker maybe fighting Venom. Although I don't understand why he's unmasked on that TV. I'm assuming that this was a goof from Sony, or maybe he temporarily takes off his mask for some reason in that section. I don't know, who knows. But yeah, I'm super excited to see Venom and Spider-Man meet. I really want Venom and Spider-Man to have a similar interaction like in the PS1 game. In fact, here's a clip.
So, we're partners, but only for now. After we bust those tech thieves, it's payback time for kidnapping my wife.
Jeez, one little mistake. We said we're sorry.
Yeah, whatever. Now, the imposter was a shapeshifter, so that means it was either Mysterio or the Chameleon.
Hey, Chameleon was our idea. We thought of that.
Tell me this, Einstein. Who could have wanted to steal Octavius' technology?
Ooh, we know!
Who?
The Submariner.
Submariner? Get serious, will you?
The mighty Thor.
Are you out of your mind? Don't answer that.
Galactus.
Also, in my last review, I said I wanted Venom to have the spider emblem on his body, and that they could do this by relating his origin with the multiverse. If someone from Sony is listening to this, please let Venom absorb Spider-Man or something, and then we can get him a new suit. Fans will love it, you can make toys out of it, and you can make a whole new Fortnite skin for him. Come on, easy money. So overall, I'm going to rate this movie a 3 out of 5 stars. If you're going to recommend this movie to someone who hasn't seen the franchise yet, I think you just give them a brief summary of the first film and then tell them to check this one out. And that is it. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed the review, then please give it a like, and if you have any thoughts on the movie, then feel free to comment down below. And don't forget to click on the subscribe button, as well as hit the notification bell if you want to keep up with the latest videos. And I'm thinking of starting a Spider-Man review marathon for some No Way Home hype, similar to what I did with the DCEU movies earlier this year for Zack Snyder's Justice League. And yeah, see ya next time.